Hey, y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. Jake, evening all. Jake, good to have you here as always. And Maya, McKenna, and Katie, are they on board with you too? See, I know my viewers. I appreciate that. And Jake is also famous for the introduction to the Terry Peppers Foghorn video. If you haven't watched the Terry Peppers Foghorn video, you are missing out big time, man. Jake says, yes, my sisters and girlfriends are watching. I've read your mind. Oh, yes. That's awesome. So let's see. Let me fire this doohickey up so I can see the chat here. Working on my live stream setup. I hope the audio and video is acceptable. I've been working on the cabling, and this is kind of an interesting fact. One might assume that a USB-C Charlie cable would be sufficient for live streaming, but in this scenario, I've got the A7R5 and I've got a super, I think it's a Thunderbolt 3 or a Thunderbolt 4 cable tethered to the camera between the camera and the laptop. So hopefully the audio and video tonight's good. The last time I realized, and I trial by fire with this. Last time I realized I had just a standard USB-C cable, and I don't know if it degraded the quality, but I do know that it wasn't capable of the data transmission rate that's required for streaming 4K video. Now, I don't think this is in 4K. This is probably 1080p, but if it's 4K, let me know. I mean, it could be. Jake says, on Thursday of this week, it was my birthday. I'm 24 now. Jake is 24. Wow. And Jake's had a lot of cool stuff going on to be only 24, man. I wish I was 24. I'm old as dirt. Cheers. So, yeah, a lot of interesting things going on. One of the things that's kind of piqued my interest recently, aside from the precious metals prices, I think we may be about to experience a precious metals rally. Fingers crossed, who knows? But one thing that's kind of piqued my interest is artificial intelligence, AI. Now, there's a lot of people that have mixed opinions about artificial intelligence. I'm one of those. I do enjoy using AI, artificial intelligence, but I also realize that SoCal Seth, welcome aboard. Always good to have you, sir. Thank you. One of the things about AI is, how far can it go? How can the technology potentially be abused? If you've used AI, artificial intelligence, you're probably blown away by how accurate a lot of the responses are. And it's quite frightening. I mean, it's one of those situations where if someone did not have an extreme level of knowledge of whatever topic, whether it's programming or, writing a poem or, writing a short story or whatever, essay, whatever it may be, in theory, that person could potentially leverage artificial intelligence and they could make themselves appear to be more intelligent than they are. So it's kind of a, if someone is intelligent enough to utilize AI, in essence, they can do things that they probably couldn't do otherwise because they didn't possess that level of intellect. So Jake says, our new ferry is due to be operational anytime. As soon as it is, there will be videos on my channel coming out, and probably quite a few as Wolf Allender 4. Wolf Allender 4, whoa, is a state-of-the-art electric ferry. Electric. Jake says, and the only one of its type in Eastern Ontario. Now, if you're not, we got people from across the world out here. Ontario is in Canada. Very cool country. I've been to Canada one time. I went to British Columbia. I loved it. But I fell on my butt every time I went down the mountain because it was icy, and I'm not a really good skier. So I ended up just, after I fell like 3 times, I just ended up walking down the slope and went and ate some poutine, fries, and gravy. Man, yeah, we got a bunch of good stuff going on here. Dude, I'm loving this. Finally, I've got the cable that enables the live stream. So that's making me very happy. I've been struggling with that. Every time I get an error message on a camera saying, "Oh, the data rate's not acceptable" or whatever, it makes me mad because it's like I'm not wanting to throw a bunch of money at this. I just want to throw a few bucks and get a good cable, and that's what I did. I got this cable and it's working. So hopefully the audio and video is good. I'm going to step over here and plug in my grill, man. I just plugged in my electric charcoal igniter. You'll start to see smoke here in a moment. Jake says, that's because you didn't have a good hot sauce recipe. That's funny. Jake says, I hear a wood thrush in the background. That's a bird. That's a bird, man. Yeah, I got a bunch of birds. I've got hummingbirds. I've got turkey vultures. I've got crows. I've got wild turkeys. I've got, what are the other birds? I got mockingbirds. I got bluebirds. I've got finches. I've got all kinds of stuff, man. I got raccoons. Raccoons will be coming out. Now, it's a little bit ahead of schedule of raccoons because it's not dark yet. But as soon as the sun starts to set, we'll move this camera over because we'll have George Cooney and crew. I've got a bunch of stuff to feed them, and we'll do a raccoon live stream with George Cooney, the raccoon. Jake says, if you missed it, there's a comment on the second ferry built for Lennox in Addington County, Ontario, Canada. Very cool. Wow. Dude, I mean, this that is some intense stuff, man. That is intense. So let's see. Let me step over here and see what we got. SoCal Seth says, those are the same raccoons from the Great Outdoors, right? Yeah, George Cooney, the raccoon and crew, they're outdoors only. They don't come in the house. I mean, they'd want to come in the house, but they're not allowed, man. I mean, I've got currently about 14 raccoons. So I've got a lot of raccoons on my mountain here. Bunch of raccoons on my mountain. They come out and they eat my food. Let's see what we got going on. This is starting to smoke. That's good. That is good. Oh, and I've got a video coming. How do you ignite a charcoal grill without getting your hands dirty? Charcoal just makes your hands kind of janky, and then you got to get soap and wash them off. And so I've got a technique where I can load that up without getting dirty, and then I can also dump it without getting dirty. So subscribe and stay tuned for those videos. Jake says the Wolf Allender 4 is 100 feet longer than the Wolf Allender 3. As you remember, showing a photo of it, and the Amherst Allender 2 is 2 meters longer. SoCal Seth says, I mean, the 80s movie, The Great Outdoors, John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. Wow, I remember those actors. Very, very good actors. Dude, that's I'm gonna have to rewatch that. I like that, and I like Deliverance. I don't know if you watched Deliverance. That was a good movie. Jake says, I'd just drop a match in after putting in a slight bit of starter fluid. That is fine, and I don't have anything against lighter fluid with charcoal or instant light charcoal, but the problem is here's the thing. Once you start lighting it with electric, so basically I've got the electric charcoal lighter in there, and I've got just regular charcoal on top of it without any lighter fluid added. The beauty of that is that it could potentially prolong the life of the grill. Not that I've had any problems with my Weber's. Weber's are, did I just shoot ice out? I did, man. Not that I have any problems with Weber's. My Weber's are great. I love my Weber kettle. But it makes me feel cleaner. Now, I cannot cook on charcoal. I mean, on propane, man, that just makes me sick. I'm like, dude, why am I even doing this? I might as well just do it in the kitchen. SoCal says Deliverance is the other direction. Jake says, but I'm careful how much I use so I don't backfire myself. Yeah, but even if it doesn't flame up on you, the thing is that you may be potentially degrading the structural integrity of your grill if you're using lighter fluid. That's, a lot of people are like, man, I don't use lighter fluid because it, that's poisonous, it gets on your meat and all that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a politician. But my immediate thoughts are, if I'm lighting the charcoal using a lighter fluid, it's probably going to burn away. And I mean, I could be incorrect with that assumption, but it's probably going to burn away. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that's kind of interesting. But yeah, Deliverance is a great movie. And I'm going to be filming a bunch of backpacking adventures. I've already got a few. Got a lot more in Appalachia. The Appalachian Mountains. You gotta you gotta be very very careful of the wildlife, the bears, but not just the bears. The thing is, that will really get you are those wild hogs. Those wild hogs will get you. Those wild hogs have razor sharp tusk. Let's see what we got here. We got this going. See, look at that smoke. That smoke's coming out. And see, once that gets to going, then what I'll do. See, this down here, check this out. That's my searing grate. That's my searing grate, man. So I'll put that on. It gets really hot, and then I sear my pork chops because I'm doing pork chops tonight. Doing pork chops with onions and I got a turtle pie for dessert, man. I got to get that out. Yep. I didn't even tell my wife I got turtle pie, man. It's going to be fancy. Jake says, you don't want to mess with a wild hog as they can be mean. Yes, wild hogs can be very mean. Actually, and not in the Appalachian Mountains, but when and this is something I'm going to be filming soon, out in the Rocky Mountains, moose are more dangerous than a bear. And that includes grizzly bears. Now in Appalachian Mountains, all I got to deal with are wild hogs. I've got cougars. I've got wild boars, wild hogs, and then black bears. Black bears are pretty cool. They're not going to mess with you typically. Just put your stuff up in a bear pulley system. You're probably going to be okay. And don't sleep with smelly things in your tent. You do that, you're an idiot. You know, a bear may come in and eat you. But yeah, you're right, Jake. Wild hog can be very mean. Oh yes, and moose when cornered can be very mean with those hooves on them. You're right. Jake is definitely right. Look at all that smoke, man. That don't have any hickory chips added yet. That is purely charcoal. But what I like to do is get that going, and I pull out the electric thing. Then I'll add some hickory chips. Then we'll throw on the onions and the pork chops. SoCal says Sasquatch is okay though. He got tunes. Yeah, I've seen that. That is true. He's funny. Um, Look at that, man. Nice. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm starving. All I ate today was some of that garbage. I shouldn't say it's garbage, but it's not fresh. You know, that frozen fish that you get. It was all right. I did it in the air fryer. I did that and some corn and air fried fish with homemade cocktail sauce, ketchup, Worcestershire, lemon juice, garlic, black pepper, horseradish. Yeah, it was pretty good. Jake says bears can be nasty when they need to, but like most animals, they will respect your boundaries if you respect theirs. Yeah, no doubt. No, don't go out in the wilderness and rub yourself down in peanut butter and you know, been eating a burger and rub that grease all over your hands and your clothing. I mean, that's the thing. When I'm in the backcountry, I don't sleep in the clothes that I cook in, and I'm very, well, actually, I'm hyper aware of everything that I touch. So when I'm eating and cooking, if I spill something on my pants, well, you know, some spilt lasagna on the pants, that could be something a bear may want to eat. So I mean, I may wake up in the middle of the night and have a bear trying to bite my leg off. So you know, it's one of those things. You got to be bear aware and be proactive, and you know, try to not get eaten. And I mean, they're, you know, typically a black bear is not going to be too aggressive, but if you make yourself smell like food, you know, that's their animal instinct. You know, they're going to want to eat. They are going to want to eat for sure. Woohoo! Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I was just starting to heat up, man. Starting to heat up. Hey, George Cooney, where are you? George Cooney won't come out until it gets a little bit darker. Raccoons are nocturnal animals. Jake says bears can be deterred by making noise and, if need be, using special ammunition like it's used by game wardens as well. Yeah, you can make a lot of noise if you. Something actually I do. I've got an air horn that I take with me, and that makes noise. And if that fails, I've got Glock 19X with buffalo bore. So that's that's gonna make a lot of noise. Bear bangers and whistle cartridges, says Jake. Yeah, yeah. My go to where permissible is, I mean, ideally a Glock 10 millimeter, but I don't currently own one. So I'll go Glock 19X, which is 9 millimeter, but I will go Buffalo Bore, which is a plus P uh, piece of ammunition that could potentially be more effective. So, And I don't want to shoot a bear. I've never had to. I've never encountered a situation where I've had to fire a firearm in the backcountry, but I always have it where permissible. And, ultimately all I need is an air horn, or not even the air horn. I mean, maybe just kind of, slowly walk away. I mean, real world example. One of my most recent, it was about an 18-mile, and check out the video on my channel. In January of this year, we encountered on the hike out, it was about an 18 or 19-mile loop, not loop, but through hike, because we parked at one place and we hiked out the other. And on the way out, we encountered about 15 black bears, but they were a few hundred feet away. And, they did look at us. We did have one mama bear that was probably, about 8 times, or maybe that's too much, maybe about 6 times my size, staring at us. But, we didn't make abrupt movements. We did not approach the bear. We just continued at a normal pace. Didn't want to seem alert, didn't want to seem scared. And they never came after us. But I mean, of those 15 or so bears, I mean, there was a, heightened possibility we could have had a bear encounter. But if you just if you know your wilderness skills, you don't have food smells on you, you don't run, you don't approach, typically you probably will be okay. But with that said, I had the Glock 19X, and my buddy that I was with had I think it was a Sig Sauer 45. So, we were decently armed. Typically for a bear, you'd probably want a 10 millimeter or better, but we didn't have that. But I think we would have been okay had we been attacked, but we weren't, and that's the best case. Jake says, I carry my Colt M1911 pistol and my Maverick 88 shotgun bear spray and bear bangers and whistle cartridges and buckshot, which hurts if it hits you. Jake says buckshot is used by game wardens to deter bears. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, that's respectable. The intent should not be to have a bear encounter, but should a bear encounter arise, being able to better defend oneself is important, because ultimately, if it comes down to me dying or the bear dying, I'm going to choose a bear, and I don't want to have that happen. Never had it happen, but I'm always bear aware, and I'm not doing anything that should attract the bear. But bears are wild animals. They could have a crazy day, and you don't smell like food, whatever, and they come after you. So you should be prepared if you're in bear country. Man, this thing's going, man. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm going to unplug it. So it's unplugged now, and I'm just letting it get the top coals going good. And then I'm going to put on my searing rack, my searing grate, which is cast iron. Let's see. Man. Doing pork chops and onions with some garlic, and then turtle pie for dessert. Mm-hmm. Jake says the sound of firearm going off is normally enough for me to convince a bear not to mess with me. The bang is quite strong on my Maverick. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, even an air horn is pretty loud, but, a firearm, I mean, even something smaller like a 9 millimeter, I mean, it's still a pretty loud sound for wildlife. And I mean, typically they hear something like that, they're probably going to go the other direction. Now, grizzly bears are a little bit different animal. I have not personally encountered a grizzly. I've encountered a lot of black bears, but never a grizzly. Keep it clean, neat, and organized. Whether it's a line for a boat or a power source for a charcoal ignition device, keep it neat. Look at that. Put some hickory in there. Give some good hickory flavor. Cast iron searing grate. Look at that. Wow. Perfect. Gotta love cast iron. Look at that. Be right back. Pork chops. You're about to hear the searing sound. Oh, that cast iron, man. Now time for the onions. Put the onions on there. Get them going. Been marinating these in the fridge all day. Onions and garlic. Oh, sear marks. Wow. Oh, I need to get some butter. Can't do it without butter. Be right back. Got to get my butter, man. People get on to me. They're like, man, why you got so much butter? You about to see. Check this out. This right here is my little onion cooking device. And I've got my marinated onions here. Onions with garlic. And oh, man, this is going to be good. Actually, I need to sit that there. I'm going to set the butter there, and I'm going to put it on top. I got my onions here, man. Look at this. They've been marinating. Oh, man. Oh, man, this is going to be good. See, I've got that extra marinade in there, so what I'm going to do is let that just kind of sit over there for a minute. We'll put some butter on top of this. Let that kind of melt down. Oh man. I'll distribute a little bit of this. I mean, they've been marinating, so they don't even really need it, but oh man. Onions and garlic and pork chops. And then I got baked potatoes in the oven. And turtle pie. My pants are falling down. I've been losing weight. But I've not been sacrificing eating good food. I've been losing weight, but I've been eating well. Let's see. We got people tuning. SoCal Seth's got to run. Oh man, got to run, bro. Grill bone and ribeye and watch fights. Cheers. Hey, good having you, man. Always a pleasure, SoCal Seth. Jake says, as a weapons collector, I've also got many types of knives, swords, poles, pole arms, and melee weapons, as well as tasers and and pepper spray and mace with even flash. Very cool. Nice, man. Always good to be prepared. George Cooney. I hear a wildcat. Meow. Hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are coming out. You could hear that sound like a helicopter. These are gonna be good. Those searing grates, man, they make everything better. Subscribe and check out my Weber videos playlist. You can find them linked there. Oh man, they're so good. George Cooney. George Cooney and crew. See, this is the electric charcoal starter. It's cooled down now, but this is super cool. Subscribe and check out my Weber videos, and I've got it linked within those videos. But it's a better way to light charcoal because you don't have to. Number one, you don't have to incur the expense of charcoal with lighter fluid added. You don't have to incur the expense of buying lighter fluid for traditional charcoal. And there's a possibility that by lighting it this way, by not having all the lighter fluid in your grill, you could potentially prolong the life of your grill. So it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Super simple to use. Oh, yes. Onions and garlic and pork chops. Mm-hmm. Let those do their thing. George Cooney and crew. George Cooney, the raccoon and crew should be here momentarily. Speaking of that, I got to get the raccoon feed, the bowl of miscellaneous scraps. Yeah, George Cooney. Be right back, getting raccoon feed. Stale cheese and crackers and other miscellaneous scraps from the day. Going to George Cooney. Hey, George Cooney and crew, here comes your food. Pretzels. Pretzels too. We'll put this away. If they show up, which they should, we'll relocate the camera. You see the raccoon action. I hear a big animal coming. I don't think it's a raccoon though. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Dude, there's something big down there, man. On the top of the mountain, there's something big. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Be very quiet. Be very quiet. Something really big, super big, very big, big animal. Whatever it is so big that it scared the raccoons because the raccoons are not eating yet. I just threw them so much food. Now, there is something enormous down there because it has frightened the raccoons. It has frightened George Cooney and crew. Be very quiet. It's coming up the mountain. It's coming. I'm going to see if I can spot it. It could be Sasquatch. It could be Sasquatch. Let's be quiet and see what it is. Or somebody was having fun down that mountain, down below there. Woo! George Cooney, the raccoon crew, did not show up. There is something big in the wilderness. I heard it climbing up the mountain. It was not one, it was multiple. I don't know what it was, but it's frightened the raccoons. It's hiding deep within the thicket. It's very camouflaged. I don't know what's trying to come up the mountain, but what I do know is that the pork chops and onions and garlic are going to be good, man. But if I can get the Yeti on video, that would be awesome. It'd be great for the channel, great for y'all to be experienced in real time with me for the first time. Sasquatch, the Yeti, Bigfoot. Let's see what we got. Oh, George Cooney's here. George Cooney's here. Let me move the camera. We're going to get George Cooney. George Cooney. Let's get this repositioned. That's George Cooney and crew, man. Yeah, so like Sasquatch or whatever that was out there, he must have left. Because George Cooney and crew showed up finally. They're late. See, they're just chilling now. They're eating, man. Whatever that was in the wilderness left, it was big. Raccoon fight, bro. Like, dude, don't grab my food, man. They're fighting each other, man. Hey, man, violence is not a solution, bro. Don't be violent. Man, we got wicked raccoon action, man. Look at that. Well, it's been a good live stream. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We got George Cooney and crew. We almost had a Sasquatch sighting on a live stream, but we didn't. I did hear it, but I didn't get to see it. So appreciate y'all's viewership. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and share with everyone. Help my channel grow. Need to get to 100,000 subscribers ASAP. At the time of filming this live stream, I'm only at about 89,000, so I need your help. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.